10 years ago, a self-made businesswoman kindly invested $500 in a girl selling goods on the street. She never imagined this small act of kindness would become her lifeline a decade later. On this day, a crowd of unpaid employees gathered in front of her company building, but to her shock, $8 million suddenly vanished from the company's account. Just as she stood in panic, her 3 adopted children swaggered into the office. She turned to her eldest son, asking what had happened to the missing funds, but the once obedient son coldly replied that it was her own poor management that led to the losses. Then, without shame, he slumped onto her desk as if it were his own. Next, her youngest son spoke up, saying he'd consider helping cover the losses if she handed the company over to him. Facing their sudden betrayal, the woman was filled with grief, until her assistant whispered a word that snapped her back to reality. Those $8 million had already been secretly transferred by them. Now exposed, the 3 sons dropped their act entirely and began forcing her to sign over the entire group. But this company was her father's lifelong legacy. There was no way she'd give it to such ungrateful heirs. Her sons weren't worried. They sneered that the angry workers downstairs would tear her apart sooner or later. Once she had nowhere to run, she'd come crawling to them. After they left, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. But trouble only piled on. She received news that her father had suffered a heart attack and was now in the ICU. His surgery would cost another $500,000. Completely cornered, she had no choice but to face the employees, who barged into her office, demanding their wages. She knelt and begged them, promising to pay them even if she had to sell all she owned. They had followed her for over a decade and trusted her character, so they gave her 1 more month. After they left, she ordered her assistant to sell off everything, but it still wasn't enough. Just then, her younger sister arrived. The woman asked her for $5 million to help save the company, but the sister coldly demanded she kneel first. Only then would she consider lending the money. At that moment, the woman realized the family she treated with love were nothing but heartless opportunists. Still, for the sake of the company, she knelt. Meanwhile, the girl she had helped a decade ago had become a powerful business tycoon. Now back in the country, the girl had only one goal: to find the woman who once believed in her. Soon after, the woman was dragged outside the factory. The employees immediately demanded their wages, threatening to burn the place down if they weren't paid. Her son threatened her again, promising to stop the workers if she transferred the company to her sister. She resisted to the end, but her sister ordered her sons to force her hand onto the agreement. Just as her palm was about to touch the paper, the girl she had once helped stepped through the crowd.